Man, we are live. Thank you guys for coming on in. Today we have some awesome guests. And to my left, I think it's my left, we have Immo Juice, the bearded guy.
Hey,
Thank
what's
you
up,
for joining
guys?
us today. What's going on?
Oh man, right. I'm glad to be here, is to be talking with everybody, and thank you very much for having me on here. Really appreciate it. And
Yeah, cool.
it's gonna be a good time. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely. It's a hangout, and that's the whole thing about this community. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the one thing that I say about our community. If you have one person that you think of in the bearded community that is the guy that is the most positive, most, I think you're, in my opinion, Immo, you have all of those qualities of keeping this community happy. You
Oh,
you
thank you,
have
I
and
appreciate it.
I know that for a fact, because there's individuals that people have shunned and you've been saying, hey, no, 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 no. So I've always
Yeah,
appreciated
yeah.
that about you. So
You
I'm
have to
really
be
happy
friends with
you're on.
everybody. That's how it works, you know.
Abs-
Because we are not perfect at all, and we all screw up and whatnot, so you just have to be friends
Absolutely.
with people, continue being friends with them, and that's how it works.
yeah,
Kindness always wins at the end, always. So
Absolutely.
absolutely true. And then I have our buddy. I've had him on a couple live streams. He is the cookie maker. He is the awesome bearded metal chef. What's going on, James?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I totally
And
appreciate it.
yeah, and Beard, I actually have this guy right here.
oh,
And Beard.
nice, look at
So
that. Thank
rocking the
you.
handsome leopard.
Awesomeness, thank you.
Which collaboration is that?
What's up, Ruddy, man?
That's one of
Ruddy
Ruddy
Man.
Man. Yeah,
Nice.
Ruddy with Jimmy.
Nice. Yeah, I have one of your other collaborations with Barn Brand with Tex.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
actually really like that scent. That's a
I
good
really
scent.
The
enjoyed that one
emologist,
too. Really do.
Emologist.
Yeah, that was a good one. What's going on, Brian? Thank you for joining on in. We are just hanging out tonight. I wanted to normally, most of the time I have like a owner, but I was like, I really like Immo, and I really like.
Oh.
I do. I saw a stream with you with, I think, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And it just endeared me to you. I was just like, this guy is just one of those really awesome guys. And he's also he's into soccer like I
Oh
am.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big time
Heavily
into
into soccer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. So, I grew up in England. So I
Mm-hmm.
grew up I lived there 8 years, and so I have my British team. I have a town that I support, which is they're relegated into Division 1 right now, but it is what it is. They used to be. They've played in the Championship League for a long time, and then I think they were at the Premier League like 1 or 2 years, but then they were relegated, and then now they're really relegated. So they lost like 2 years ago. They got booted out of. They were relegated down to the Division 1, but
mm-hmm.
it's Ipswich Town for anybody who knows. Yeah, so they're kind of go Blues, but it is what it is. But yeah, that was one thing that I was like, anybody who loves soccer is people don't understand the game outside of America. People
Right.
don't have that understanding that it is such a phenomena everywhere else.
There's such a passion for it everywhere else, and it's just people love it. People give their lives for it. People live for it, pretty much everywhere else except for us here. So.
Yeah, very different experience. So yeah, very cool. So James, you live on the East Coast in lovely. Where are you living at in Florida?
I'm at like Midwest or Mid East, towards Midwest. Like I'm on the coast, like the Gulf side coast, and right off south of Tampa.
Oh, south of Tampa, like Clearwater.
Yeah, about 45 minutes, hour.
Okay, so yeah, my grandparents are from Sarasota.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much I live in I work in Lakewood Ranch.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is right there. So
right there, yeah. When I'm growing up, I used to go down there for like spring breaks and summer vacations, and yeah, I love it down there. I love, what I really love about Florida, especially the Gulf side, is how completely those crystal beaches, sand is amazing. Like you can't describe.
Siesta Key.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have, so back in the day I got slightly intoxicated and slept under
Slightly. I like how you throw that in there.
slightly intoxicated and slept underneath one of the lifeguard stations for the night on Siesta Key. And we were sitting there and, because they have like patrols that kind of go through, and there was like a little bit of protection so you couldn't get caught. So we slept underneath it so that we wouldn't get caught. And then the next day I was like, why did we sleep under here? This is crazy. But it's so beautiful there. And the sand is so wonderful that you can't. And I think it's almost a year-round water. The water is warm no matter when you go. I mean, it's a little warmer in the summer, but I thought even during like December, it was always still really good water. So Brian is saying he loves soccer too.
James.
He played for 28 years.
Brian Banjos, Brian? Or different Brian?
Hershey.
Okay.
Brian Hershey.
Yeah. There was, see, isn't that amazing? I love, that's, she's like, what's going on? What are you talking to? Me and Immo were just talking about that. We were like, we're in the quietest rooms in our house, which is his is toddler room, mine's my closet.
Yeah, that's Ava's room. As you can see her name back there. I'm hiding out in her room, and it's the quietest place in the house. Unbelievable.
Yeah, good times. Good times. But yeah, the good funny thing about it is that I've spent so much time watching soccer or football.
Mm-hmm.
And you grew up in Africa, which is still a big, huge football area, right?
Yes, I had spent some time over in Africa. Then I had spent some time over in Europe as well, and some time in South America as well.
Oh, wow.
So yes, so I have seen football pretty much everywhere on the planet, and it's insane. It is absolutely insane. And as far as African football goes, it is really starting to how can I put this, come up now, because players from there are all playing in Europe, and they pretty much know all of the world system now, how it functions now. So players are not afraid to play with other players anymore, versus how it was in the past. African teams were always kind of at the bottom and whatnot. They didn't have all the great players, great playing players anyways. They didn't have great paid players, quote unquote. But now all of that has changed. You have your Samuel Eto'os, you have your Didier Drogba, you have your Makukula, all these great players who are out there now playing and shining actually in all these leagues over in Europe.
See, and I love that. And that's what I love about the different leagues. So there's Bundesliga, which is the German leagues, Premier League, which is the British leagues. The French and the Spanish have their leagues, and they pay well. I mean, people don't realize that how much they pay.
Serie A also over in Italy. It pays really well over there too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. All of Europe has, and it's like NFL, but it's every country has an NFL for it. For it's a soccer for NFL, basically the same type of thing.
Yeah,
where they're paying their players outrageous, and they're getting them from different locations throughout the world, which is really cool. I think that's awesome, and they're paying the big bucks. It's definitely not even close to. I mean, people don't realize how big it is. I just think that's interesting to me. Now, who is your team?
Oh gosh, depends on the league and the country and the continent. So I would say in Spain, I like Barcelona. Grew up watching them. Been a fan of theirs for 25 years. I would say in Portugal, I like Benfica. Been a fan of theirs for a very long time. I was not too much into British soccer all that much.
Premier League,
but as of now, I'm really liking how Man City play. Ever since they've had all of those African players on their team, I really enjoy them. Really enjoy watching them. Let's see. Over here in the States, it's Go Sounders all day. I'm a Seattle guy through and
Right,
through.
right.
True Seattleite, plug. So yeah, Seattle absolutely has to be the Sounders. And if I was to go over in Congo, there's a team called Daring Club Motema Pembe. So that is the team that my father had played in as a youngster. He played in
Nice.
that team in their top flight. So I am a fan of theirs for life, pretty much. But also, I really like this team that is called TP Mazembe, Tout Puissant Mazembe, which is the very first African team to play in the World Cup of clubs and be in the finals. Very
Nice.
first.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. UEFA, is that the UEFA league or no?
That is the
That's the European one.
World Cup of teams, of clubs.
Oh, right.
They
Right,
have
right.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
Nice.
That is really cool. So that it's in. I don't. The other sport that I grew up on, and most people don't, is rugby. And that's still big, and that's a huge thing, and especially South Africa.
Yes, it's huge over there.
Yeah, and so rugby was another thing I grew up on, as well as cricket. But cricket, you had to explain. I was like, I remember it being on BBC Two, and just going, "When's this going to end? And when's my Doctor Who going to show up again?"
A game can be played for days.
Absolutely.
Days, one same game. They just keep playing it for days. It's crazy.
Yeah, when I first started, I started watching rugby about like 10 years ago. I got into like the Australian team. It was black.
The All Blacks. Yeah. All Blacks. Yeah.
New Zealand.
Yeah, them dudes are crazy. The names are crazy nuts.
They are, and it's really fun to watch. I have a friend that is from Wales, and he played with the Welsh leagues, and absolutely so cool to watch. He would get so worked up about rugby, and the funny thing, he would always tease us because we had to wear pads. You're like, I don't have to wear pads. We don't wear pads over here.
Yeah,
right. You play straight out.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy sport. You can get really injured. I remember watching. Yeah, I used to sit on the sidelines and watch the teams when I was growing up, and just even the local towns versus towns just get so into it.
Oh, it's crazy. The rivalries are crazy. They're amazing. Amazing rivalries that they have.
Yeah. Do you guys like? Have you guys seen the Eights, where they're playing like 8-man rugby?
I've seen sevens. I don't know about
sevens.
Eights.
That's what I meant.
Sevens. Yeah,
I was like a number. I was like a number. I'm off on sevens. Yeah, sevens. Sevens. That's the one, and they play the championship in Vegas every year.
In Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend that same rugby friend. He goes up there every year, spends the entire week watching the entire championship.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I watch it too. Yeah.
It's fun. Really it's a fun game, and that's a shorter field and a lot more
less
intense.
Players, a whole lot more intense. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like arena football, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever watched any? Do you guys watch any of that? So we have a team here in Phoenix that wins like all the time, the Rattlers, and that's a fun thing to go to because they'll play metal the entire time, like old '80s metal. You're like, yes. They'll throw out some Metallica, Megadeth's in there. I'm just like, yes. First time I went, I was like, this is old '80s rock stuff. This is exactly what I play guitar to. So I'm totally into this. That's awesome. So, James, what made you go with Bearded Metal Chef?
Really, just things I was into. I mean, growing the beard. I mean, it was actually just something I came up with, like when I first started Instagram, because the whole like you got to pick your username and stuff like that. So really, it's just like I'll just pick out things that I'm obviously into. Each one has just my own interests. Bearded metal and cooking. So why not the whole Bearded Metal Chef thing? So it kind of just kind of worked.
Right on. That's cool. So now, did you go to a cordon bleu school? Where did you go and get your? Did you go American or?
I've been cooking for a while. Like I started like getting in the restaurant industry probably around 2000. Like my first job was like when I was like 15 at like a grocery store, which is pretty much around that time, like everybody's first job. But then I went to like fast food. Then I went to steakhouses. and then I worked for the same company for a good good chunk of time, probably like seven years with that company, and then they closed down, and I got another job at a like a family barbecue sports bar. And the guy it was named after was Leroy Selmons, which he was a football player for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh,
And
nice.
so he did a lot. He opened up like his own barbecue like franchise, I guess, and it kind of just went everywhere, all over Florida. And essentially, I worked there for about 5 years, I think, 5-6 years, and then from there, I started going to like school. So I mean, I was cooking for a little bit before I went to school. So I went to like a little like accredited university that was not far from where I lived, and I went there for like a year and a half. And so I mean, I knew, some of the cooking tricks or whatever already, but kind of just learning some of the history of it and some more like where stuff came about and how stuff generally just was made, pretty much. I'm saying, just kind of learning more of the fine dining side. And then I got a job at a fine dining restaurant and kind of been going since then too as well. So
yeah, that's where the money is. So people who don't know, my bachelor's is in hotel restaurant management, and
Okay.
I was running restaurants prior to, like, before you were working. That's for sure. So my first, so my first job was I worked at the NCO club as a busboy. And I fell in love with the industry because I started waiting tables. I did best boy, did waiting tables.
Yeah, I did all that too.
Yeah, I did a short order cook for a little bit on NAU campus. And then I kind of like, during my summers, I would spend in dining halls as well as some restaurants. And then I got my degree, and I kind of did my internship as, believe it or not, I did my internship as in a soup kitchen. So I was the manager of a soup kitchen in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Nice.
And if anybody, it was a cool experience because but it was basically, and at one point, the main chef left and left me in charge. So I was the chef and the manager. And I would have, in the mornings, I would have people who were on probation, and they would help me kind of prep up stuff.
Yeah.
And then at night I would have to come up with a full meal by myself, standard recipe, everything off of what was donated. And that was the most unique job I've ever had. I loved it and hated it at the same time, because you were coming up with recipes that, I was thumbing through recipe books while I was there, because it was like, I come in Saturday and Sunday and you would have to just figure out what they had and what was donated. Mm-hmm. And you would have to come up with a meal for 300 people.
Sounds exciting to me. It's a challenge. Yeah.
I would do the same thing. Like, even before I got into went to school and stuff like that, even, I would come up with, I would just look in the fridge or look in the cupboard and be like, okay, what do we have? We don't have anything. I'll be like, other people would be like, oh, we don't have anything to eat. And I'm like, well, let me look. And so from there, I would just be like, okay, we got this. So I would come up with something, and it'd be awesome. That's what kind of got me more into it as well, is kind of creating something, from nothing. If somebody thinks that they have nothing, always find something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Total art. And culinary arts are definitely exactly where I got a culinary art degree, basically. Because like I had spent a lot of time in a cordon bleu chef. Like my chef was a professor at American. So, which is a huge culinary university. And he went through all of how to do fine dining. We did a table d'hote type of thing on Friday nights, where it was like a 25-course meal. Right. The NAU had full range restaurant and bar, and you were cooking everything. I mean, if he had a special that night, you were learning how to do sauces, and it was all French cordon bleu stuff. I didn't do anything. Yeah. I'm still struggle with the Asian spices, because there's so many different ones that are so way different off of the French style classic cooking, that I'm still struggle with that. But I'm starting to get into it. I love pho and Vietnamese food a lot, and Thai food. Yeah. It's just starting to get into that. I cook a lot of Mexican these days. Actually, I let my wife cook the Mexican. She likes doing it. She's always good times.
Can't ever go wrong with Mexican food, right? I mean,
No,
not in
you
not in this
can't ever
area.
go wrong with it. No, not in the area where you are.
No. So I have 2 Hispanic boys, and so you can't go wrong with bean and cheese. You just even if you don't have anything, you have bean and cheese. We always have bean and cheese available. So there's always a pot of beans somewhere. So now you're working for a country club, and I have a story that I think I've told you, James, that the culinary chef that I was telling you about that worked at American, in one of his restaurants when he first started out, he worked one day at a country club. He got into the job. Some guy off the golf course just walks in, says, "Hey, Cookie, what's up?" and starts eating the food. And he was just like, "Get out of my kitchen. Get out of my kitchen. What are you doing? Just eating the food."
Bro, what?
Wow, man.
So he was like, and they said, "Well, no, these guys are paid members. They allowed to do whatever they want in this kitchen. It's kind of theirs because they paid their fees." And so the manager didn't back him because he was like, "Get out of my kitchen," and the guy wouldn't complain to the manager, and the manager had to explain to the cook about, to the chef how this really works in a country club. And that was the end. That was his first and last day he ever worked there.
Wow. How annoying is that, man? You just walk up at someone's job and start doing that. That's just,
right.
Yeah, there are people that think that they're just really, really privileged to do whatever because they're paid members. So it's just like, we have people with like allergies that we have certain menus for. I mean, it's like they have like their own menu with, if they're allergic to whatever, the whole menu doesn't have that in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, that's crazy.
Now what is your title there? Are you sous? Are you?
I'm not the head chef or a sous chef. I'm one of just like the working chefs that are there. Because they already have a head chef and they already have a sous chef that have been there for a little bit longer than me. So I'm kind of just right under that. But we all kind of work as a team anyway. So it's just
that's the way those work. And do you know what I miss? Here's what I miss about the restaurant business is the 10 minutes prior to guest arriving. Especially at a high-end dining facility where you're like, we're about ready to open, and there is just pizzazz going on. You got the bus people making sure that the forks are looking good, the wait staff making sure that because we had to fold napkins a certain way, and we had that swan
design, napkin folds and stuff.
Napkin folding, but there's all that stuff that's going on behind the scenes right before, and it's a buzz, and food is looking good. You can smell the food, especially if it's like if we're doing something big and there's the special, and you can smell the special coming in off the stove, and you're just like, oh, this is so exciting. You have a manager like sweating because he's like getting ready and yelling at staff and going a little crazy.
Right. It's always so fun when it starts getting busy and stuff like that. That's where it's fun, is where it's just because you're constantly moving. Rather staying in one spot is just so boring. And it's just like, I know some people are like, oh, that's like, at least you're not working. Or that's when time goes by really slow. And just like when you're working, when you're in that fast paced like cooking, area, you're going. That's like the fun part of it. That's what I like about it, is just
it's a blast. And I miss that specialness because you're creating something for guests, and they are having, it's their anniversary, it's their their honeymoon, something special's going on today, their birthday, and you're creating something for them for their birthday, for this special moment. Especially at high end, nobody goes to high ends just every day. It's unless you have a lot of money. But normally the high-end people, this is a 20th anniversary, this is a 30th anniversary, and your food is making their night special. And the ambiance in the place, that the music, everything that's going on, the way the maitre d' is coming in, the way that the waiters are coming up, I love that. It's special, especially at high end, and that high end is fun.
Right.
So Immo, juice.
Yes, sir.
Explain me juice. What does that refer to?
Oh, that is a nickname.
It's your boy Juice.
Yeah, it is your boy Juice. Hello, friends.
It's your boy.
That is the name that actually came from Joe of Beard Octane. He's the one who gave me that name. He's the one who gave me that nickname because he and I are both fans of the movie Juice, the one with Tupac and Omar Epps in it. So we made a lot of back and forth jokes about it and whatnot. And one day he sent me a package with that name on it. He said it was on there. It said Immo Juice, and sure enough, it came right here to my place, and I just laughed at it. I was like, man, that's pretty awesome.
Funny. Now that we know like the story behind it, it's more funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that name just stuck. So now.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I love things like that. And I was like, I wanted to get to that. There's always a story behind a nickname. I love it. I absolutely love it. So what did so the other thing is I noticed that you're part of the Bearded Rebellion's Beard Club.
Yes, sir. Bearded Rebellion. Cool. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so how now they do a lot of charity. Can you explain for new people coming in that may see this or watching now, what is that organization and what are they doing charity wise and things like that for the Brotherhood?
Well, what I can say about our club, like the main focus of it, the number one focus of it is, as you say, the Brotherhood. It is about getting to know other guys throughout the world via beards and just being friends and, talking about stuff and helping each other out in the best possible way that we can as brothers. And we are a very tight-knit group now, and we are a growing group. When I joined, we had less than 10 members, which was in 2018, like late 2018, I would say around September. Yeah. Around that time, that's when I joined. We had, 7 members, and 2 years later, here now, we are at 200 plus. So
nice.
It's been and it's been growing steadily through friendship, respect, mutual respect. And as far as the charity work goes, it is something that we're very, very passionate about as a club. And any charity that we see out there that is worth putting the time and effort behind, we are usually in there. And the last big one that we did was for breast cancer. That is the last big charity event that we had. We had like a raffle and all that other business, giving away prizes when people bought tickets for it, and it turned out to be pretty nice. So what we're thinking of doing once this COVID thing finally, cools off a little bit, over here in my chapter over here in Oregon, what we had planned was to go and give homeless people haircuts.
Oh, cool.
We're going to do that, give them haircuts, give them beard trims, give them some product, give them some clothes and socks, just the essential things that everyday people need. So that is one that we're planning to do over here once we're actually able to go out and do it. So
that's awesome. Permafrost is in the house. Thank you very much for joining today. I don't know if have you guys ever tried Permafrost products? Just
I have not tried Permafrost products, but I have a very not funny but a story how I am connected with the Permafrost people. It was through my wife, because they're out in Anchorage, Alaska. Mm-hmm. So my wife works at Costco. She's been there for the past 22 years. And so they were going to open a store over there. And she was sent over there to try and train, some of the newer people that they were hiring over there. And the owner of Permafrost was there on opening day.
Oh, cool.
With all the craziness that was there. So when my wife came back, I had seen a a post that the owner had put up of Costco on his page, and I was like, hey, that is the very Costco that my wife went to help open. And we just kind of started talking about it from there. And so that is my permafrost story with Costco and my wife. So small world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his live streams when he does when he goes on with his daughter. Him and his daughter, like they're like they can have like their own show together. They're just really funny together.
Oh yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
I really like him. I like his products. I did a stream with him a bit ago on IG. Super nice company. And what drew me to him was the fact that he was, again, charity, or he had a lot of charity work around his area of Alaska. And also he's a vet. So I love vets. My dad was a 27-year Air Force vet. So I'm always happy to, talk about being a vet. I didn't serve. I was this close from joining the Air Force. But
hey, what's up, Josh?
Hey, Josh, what's going on?
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. I enjoy the fact that I get to talk to so many vets in this. And I'm a part of the Legion, American Legion. So I'm a part of the Sons, which is there's Immo's gone black. Immo's gone black. What's going on here? He's dark. The thing disappeared. What happened?
Juice
is gone.
Where's the juice?
The juice is loose.
Oh, you ran out of juice.
Yeah, that's what happened. It's gone dark there. The window's there, but that's weird.
Yeah.
I've had it where it just disappears on you, and then you're like, oh, well.
Right.
You might have to come back in, Immo. But that's weird. So while we're waiting for him, so community-wise, I've really enjoyed seeing cookies coming to different people, and there's
a lot of people that are like, I want cake, sending cookies.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, cool, thanks, Immo.
Like the list gets bigger. Like, I want some cookies. Give me some cookies.
I know. So Sam, Samantha. So that's Joe's.
Can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Right on. I was like, what happened?
I'll just be receiving calls at the wrong time, and the same friend keeps calling on one app, and then he called on the phone, and then he called on another app. He just keeps calling. So
he's like, so that was the only reason why I said
to this though.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, dude, I was in a live stream. You can't just
I know
like that. No.
But yeah,
anyways, I had heard James say something about me running out of juice. That was funny.
Running out of juice. He ran out of juice.
That's funny. Yeah, I was like, oh, look at that, cracking jokes.
That's funny. That's funny.
Much fun.
When you said the juice is loose.
Juice is loose. Yes.
Speaking of first jobs, I heard you guys speaking of first jobs. My first job was freshman year in college. I had just come from Mozambique back to stateside here in the U.S. in Seattle, going to college. And the first job that I had, I was driving a milk truck before class, which means that I
woke up early.
Started my routes at around 3 a.m. Did that from 3 to 5, and then went to class at 7:30. And so, that was brutal. It was really brutal, but the pay was really, really good. And plus, I got to drive a milk truck with no doors on it, and that was awesome. Oh,
how many how many customers did you have? How many stops did you have to do?
Per week, I would say we had 104 stops.
So you had to do 104 stops for a couple hours. Like those couple hours were 104 stops.
Oh my
goodness. Week. That is per week.
Oh, per week. Per week. Okay, so you're like 20.
Yeah, per week.
Like 20 stops
like 20
a day,
like 15 a day, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were delivering milk, as in
and my
the milk
favorite
in the little glass?
Was always the old folks' home. That was it was so beautiful seeing those old people all excited with their money, Some would bring you cookies, some would bring you all these pastries and just give it to you. I mean, I absolutely loved it. And of course, as the, stories of milkmen go, some of them are very true. I did run into clients who'd show up in their underwear in their 90s, try and flash you some boobs. Yes, it does happen. It is real. It's very real. People do show up and do that.
Get some of that free milk.
So that's so funny. That is so funny. So
yes. Yeah, so yeah, that was my very first job ever, milkman.
The milkman. So I remember being in England, and that was the first time that I saw the little round cylinder bottles with the little cream on. Like they have about maybe what?
Hear him. Can you hear him, James?
Yeah, I hear him.
Oh man.
Oh, he may have to jump out and then jump back in.
All right,
really quick,
let me sign out and then sign back in because I can't hear you, Protection.
Thanks, buddy. Sorry.
Sign out and I'll sign back in.
Right on, man. Thanks. So, oh man, that's a good story too. Because I lived overseas and I never seen milk bottle people. The milk, because they came with milk bottles.
I've never seen them either.
And it's like and every milk bottle had about half an inch of cream on the top. So the cream would rise, and then you just have this and then you would just take that out, and then that would be your cream for the day too, for your milk. Yeah, for your coffee. Yeah, very cool. I love living over there. It was a really good time. And a metal guy, hey, what's going on, buddy? I saw half naked in here, half baked. No, half naked.
Is that half naked?
Half naked. Half.
Are you saying half naked over here?
The half naked ladies came in, half baked.
Talking about milkmans and half nakeds. Ooh yeah.
Oh. All right.
He has a release here coming up in here in a bit, right?
Yeah, he's got one with Jolly Old Fat Man.
Here's Steven.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's really cool. And you know what? Bam is such a nice guy. I've had him on this discussion panel over the last year, I think twice, and I just absolutely love having him on. He's always just been a really good host or a good guest, and just always been very nice to deal with.
Yeah.
And then he also has really good products. So he was the first that I would say came up with the hybrid bomb, where you were just like, that is so good, so amazing. And
that stuff works beautifully. Oh.
Yeah, it really is. And it's and it gives you that hold and the moisture and the moisturizing that you need for your beard. I love it. So this is the interesting thing. So how long have both of you guys been in the beard game?
I actually started growing my beard January of 2018. Because my girlfriend everyone's had some medical stuff going on quite a bit. I mean, she's been through a lot of stuff, but so she had to spend a few months in the hospital at the time. And so I kind of just started growing out, facial hair. I've always had the goatee and, stuff like that. I never really could grow the mustache out as a kid or growing up, in my 20s and all that. It was just always peach fuzz. So I just kind of just shaved it off all the time. And so I just had just this, or I kind of grow the little sideburns that kind of connected with that. But really I never really knew about products until after I started growing the beard around 2018. So I always use shampoos and stuff like that. And but yeah, getting into the stuff, I started watching dancey videos or scuba videos, and that's how I got into it. Was through them. So from there, and here I am.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. Yeah. What about you, Immo?
Yeah. So for me, very much like James, in my early 20s, I'll say late teens and early 20s, I just could not grow any facial hair to save my life. I would try so hard to have it, and then finally around, I would say maybe 27, 28, it really started to grow and come in and whatnot. Right. But I would shave it, I grow a goat, I'll grow the chin strap and all the other business, and then I'll shave it off. So I really started to get serious about growing it, I would say in mid 2018, and I started to fully grow it, I would say November 2018. That's when I started grow, and the first review that I ever saw was Scott, and the first owner that I ever spoke to was Jim of Jim Bob, Grizzly.
Okay.
And then it just sort of went from there. Then I started to watch Dan C and Scuba and all those people, and yeah, so here I am now today. So
Yeah, I love that. Hey, thanks for coming on in, Permafrost. I totally appreciate it. It's so good to see you. Such a good company.
and he has an awesome beer too. Awesome face jacket, as he calls it.
He does have that face
jacket.
jacket.
I like that. I like his face jacket.
And his scents are really good. I'm going to plug him because I've tried him. I love his products. And I just, they're really good. I've enjoyed them. So, what's so interesting is that there's just so many product lines out there now, and so many product companies. So you have so many companies doing different things. Like tonight, we just had there's a female line coming out. And that's not the first time I've heard that, like Fable. I don't know if they were the first, but I know CBG does it. Chesapeake Beard Grooming. They have a female line and a kid line. There's so many companies that are coming out doing the holistic approach to beard products as well. Well, grooming products. Just call them grooming products.
Yeah, there you go. Grooming products. Yeah.
And Kuhn is another one that I'm thinking about trying their pomade. There's just so much of that going on. And what would you say your guys' favorite products are right now that you guys are excited about and seeing them grow?
Oh, that is
a loaded question.
It's a loaded, very, very broad question that could take.
I like Chesapeake, but I mean, I think was it Mike from Chronic Beard? I think he's starting to do. He's gonna start doing the CBG or a CBD line.
Cool.
I think pretty soon. So that's what he's thinking about doing is that, I think. But so I mean, he's talking about growing his own stuff, doing it, growing it bigger like that, and kind of just branching out into other things. So I think that's one company right there. Because I think, like other people have said, like it's like a hidden gem. You know what I'm saying? Other people like maybe don't look at that because it's Chronic Beard. The name Chronic Beard it might stand people off, but I mean his stuff is pretty good. I think. I mean, I've enjoyed seeing him grow and stuff, and same with like Gary from Chesapeake. I've used a lot of his stuff recently, but
yeah, some good stuff. Who are your top? What if you were to give a top 5, Immo? Who's your top 5? We'll give top 5.
Gosh, top 5. That's
top 5.
Wow, that's so limiting. Oh,
I know it is.
Oh my god.
I know. Maybe we just go with some that you've tried recently that you go, wow, that was a surprise, a good company for me.
Some that I've tried recently, Rivertown. That one I really enjoyed them, and I enjoyed Weatherbeards recently. I've also tried them recently, and I really like what Corey's doing with that. And let's see, which other company have I tried recently? Recently, I would say I'd go with Honest Elephant.
Oh, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Honest Elephant. Yeah, she makes absolutely amazing soaps. Her soaps are just outstanding. So she also has a lot of good products that I've been trying as well. And of course, I have my staples, which are, Ruddy, Barn Brand, Sphinx.
Sphinx is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Sphinx
is out of this world. It's just
Sphinx is like you can go on the website and just kind of close your eyes and just pick whatever.
And just pick whatever, and it's absolutely great. Oh, there you go. Yeah. And of course, there's also Miner's Beards that I'm really starting to like what they're doing over there too. Just they make absolutely great sense, and they have 3 great owners in Mike and Beth and Gary. They're just great people as well. So I really enjoy their stuff too. So recently, those other people that I've tried, but I just know that I'm leaving people out, and I hate doing that because there's so many great companies out there. So many great
Beer Gents is another one I've tried.
Who?
Beer Gents is another one.
Oh,
Beer Gents with Jay. Yeah.
That's right there is my go-to night oil right there.
Night Pirate.
Yeah. And then I have I can't. This is Mr. Cool.
Mystical.
I'm going to get to his. He's releasing Cubano here in a bit, and I've had him on, and he is such a good guy. Such a good guy. And that's the one thing about our beard community. There are just legitimately good guys that are owning products. And I just absolutely love that part of that's what hooked me. That's honestly what hooked me. I can talk to an owner of a product and then have a discussion and have a friendship.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That right there is like
thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even, I've struggled a little bit with, hey, are they really small batch or they're not? After a while, I don't care. But if they are a cool company doing some cool stuff, I do like creative people. I do prefer to have somebody that's doing their own stuff. But the fact that you can talk to an owner and get the customer service level that you do, that's huge to me. And I don't care who provides that. And the beard industry there's room for everybody.
There is, absolutely.
And if you're really into small batch, there's really a lot of really good small batch companies. If you're into some bigger companies like Live Bearded, different size companies like that, there's that in the industry. So it's just so much fun. It's such a fun industry to be part of. And then our little niche of Instagram folks. I was trying to figure that out. How big do you think that we really are in Instagram? Like if you were to say active Instagrammers that are part of the community, how many do you think there really are?
150 to 200 active. I would say around there.
I was saying that the other day. So that's who you usually get in on your streams. You're usually not getting a lot of other people from different areas. Like I've rarely get like on my videos, it's always the same people. I don't think there's a couple people on there that comment that I don't know who they are, but the rest I know who they are. So and it's always good to have that kind of brotherhood. And I'm really, really thankful for it. But then also I think that we have people like Immo and James in here that are just really legitimately good people.
Oh, thank you.
You can't find brotherhood like that anywhere else, guys. I mean, you just don't find that every day. I work for a huge company. You just don't find that. I think Dave said this best. He hasn't found that kind of camaraderie since the military.
Right.
And that right there says a ton because, the military is so tight because they rely on each other's lives.
Yeah.
That's the kind of camaraderie that you build there, that they're lifesavers. And I feel like somebody who's been in that situation and then says, this is similar. I've been looking for something like that.
Yeah.
And it's so positive. Like I used to go to the American Legion and there's still positive charities there. And I felt that was a really good group, but I feel like the bearded community for an online group, totally amazing. Good social media presence.
Absolutely.
So when I first started buying products or whatever, I mean, that would just be the end of it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking like growing relationships or friendships, whatever, but then you kind of relate with other people and people that buy the products or whatever. So it grows into it's a whole other side of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I never knew there was like a community like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just so you relate with a lot of people.
Oh yeah. It grew to the point for James where he had to sell his soul to the devil to try and win every other giveaway.
So how does that? So
we write him about that a lot. Yeah.
How does that even happen, James? How do you? You don't, and it just must be your luck because I know that I enter the same ones with the same amount of. I don't go overboard. I have seen how many times you do it. You do it as many times as I do for any of these giveaways. I just think that some people have good karma. It's just that somewhere you've done some good things.
At first, Immo was like the one that was winning all the time.
I did win a lot.
The one that was like, every time I saw like a giveaway, it'd be like, Immo. I'm like, bro.
It's true.
Give it to everybody.
I did win a lot last year. Oh, gosh, I won a lot.
That's
So
awesome.
like now,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm to the point where I'm just like I don't even want to enter a giveaway anymore.
Because they all, James is in it. We're not letting him
I
win.
was like, man,
hold him,
but
hold him
like-
down.
but sometimes I mean, like when people do like live streams and do like trivia questions, I've been more excited to do like some trivia questions. Before I would just do
Yeah.
like a number, but now it's like I don't mind a trivia question because sometimes like I'm probably gonna know what it's about. You know what I'm saying? I can probably guess or feel out what the trivia question is going to be about, like Dancy videos. Dancy is going to do Dancy trivia, you know, from his videos. So I'll watch like his videos, like, you know, that day or something like that and kind of refresh myself. And then sometimes I'll even kind of know what he's going to ask and I'll have it like typed in already and I'll just pop it in there and that would be it. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just like like Renewed Man. I got Renewed Man and like he had like the Torcedor, you know, line or whatever. And in the live stream like he did with Tyson, it was like I looked up what a Torcedor was, and like that was like the last giveaway that they did. And they said, "What's a Torcedor?" And I'm like, I know it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I did the homework.
See, that's the way to win. So right there, he's giving away his secrets all.
Yeah, exactly. And do the homework.
All two of you that are in here right now.
You got to do the research. Yeah.
Big man is in
mine.
here. So I'm just letting you know, for those two people, this is what he's doing. Here's the secrets.
Studying.
We're giving away secrets right now that nobody else is here for, but that's okay.
Exactly.
They'll view it later. I haven't had this, so I'm just going to let you guys know, just open and honest. I haven't had this low of a turnout in a very long time, but it's because we're smack dab in the middle of like crazy.
In the
There's
middle
a
of
lot.
there's a lot
like
of streams.
5 of the
going on
live
right
streams,
now.
I think.
And you just have to be consistent in this industry. The YouTube thing is chef knows. And you know IG, you're making videos. You have to keep it relevant. You cannot be doing things that everybody else is doing.
Right.
And trying to find how to separate yourself is the biggest, hardest thing to do. And some people have, you know, done it in different ways. But it is a hard because to me, it's like I do it with my son, and that's kind of my differentiation. Chef, you do a few fair share of your own reviews. Yeah. And what have you found to be your, like, what are you trying to how do you differentiate yourself in this industry?
I really just kind of do the. I mean, when I first got into, like I said, my first review was outside. I mean, that was my first ever review was outside because I didn't know how to kind of get into it. I just made a video, you know what I'm saying, and just uploaded it. And from where that was to now, I try and always make it always, you know, better than the first or whatever, or better than the last. And like now I'm kind of speaking more, even like since like Dave's like kind of do your own thing or just speak honest, which I always speak honest. But now like when I get in front of the camera, I'm trying not to be like so like I want to say like a false positive and being like, oh, hey, what's going or whatever, but just kind of just talking like freely like I'm talking to you guys and making the video. It's almost like different when you're actually looking at the camera and making the video and kind of just almost how like Swag does. Swag does it like no problem. And really I think about like that and kind of just channel that energy and just kind of like flow with it. Now like with this one I just did like Beard Mana, like Scott and you know Chad's company, like that video. I did that video because I'll do multiple takes on some videos sometimes where I just sit there probably for like a good hour and a half and just like multiple takes and I'm like, oh my God, sometimes I just point to where I just take a break or I just quit. You know what I'm saying? That night I'll make it again. But that video, I started and it took me 40 minutes. I was done. And like I knocked it down to like 19 minutes when I edited it and I was done. I was able to catch like live streams and stuff like that. So with that video, I kind of felt was more like flowing to me. And I was proud of it. Like, so I was done. I'm like, that's like 40 minutes. Like it didn't take me 2 hours to do, or I didn't get frustrated. I just went with it. So it was just.
That's cool. That's cool. So you're finding your groove, which is really cool. I
know some people find it, you know, some people get into it and they're like, some people have a hard time finding that groove. And so it's just like, we can kind of just be yourself and just do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to like impress anybody. You're just making a video or you're just speaking to people how you're talking to, you know, your mom or your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So Gary came in and he said that
Courtney she did it. She did it. She had
I
a
have
hand
no.
in Kurt's. She had a hand in Kurt's death. Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. That's what he's referring to. Yeah, she did. She did it.
So here is so my so here is
So
my
Gary.
Courtney Love story. That it's not really my story, but I have a friend that worked on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. So back in the day, so a while back,
Yeah.
and she said Courtney Love. She was the talent coordinator, and so she would go get the talent and make sure. But Courtney Love apparently lived in LA somewhere. They had the limo get there to go pick her up, and she was in the middle of a fight, naked in the yard. And this is a big deal. You know, this is the Tonight Show. So the person that was getting the limo had to get her in the car, like say, hey, you have to get in the car. This is a taping now. You have to get in here.
Right.
But she's naked having a fight with Kurt.
Oh my gosh, how classless.
Long time ago. Yeah, a long time ago. So this was, but she's in LA having a huge fight, and they had to push her naked, drunk, on drug ass into the limo to get her to go to the Tonight Show. Crazy. I was just like, yeah, and that's Courtney. That's the only Courtney Love story I know, but I thought I was always like, that just sounds like that crazy tumultuousness that was was always there.
Yeah. Poor
So
Kurt, he had to deal with all of that, like on a constant
Oh,
basis.
yeah.
He wanted it. The guy wanted out, you know?
Yeah, well, she was bipolar. She was bipolar, and unfortunately, he had the wrong end of how to get out. She wasn't going to let him go.
Yeah.
No.
But
Kurt was always like, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't all about the fame.
Right. Well, I think he he was ready for the end of that. Like he was just like, you know, that's not as an artist. I think he was done. He was done with all of the. He did his bits. He was a very talented musician, and I think that he was ready to get off the crazy train. You know.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, you know, it's too bad. Nobody will ever know the real story, right?
No.
But I do know that story, and that sounded awfully nuts to me. I just can't even imagine being.
It is nuts. Yeah. Speaking of that, here I have a trivia question for you guys, for the two of you guys, and everybody else. You know how on album covers they have that warning, you know, this, that, and the other, about lyrics being
explicit language,
and you know, explicit and all that. So Nirvana had their own version of that was written in I think 2 of their 3 albums. Would you guys happen to know what they wrote on their albums as a warning?
No, but I've read it because it was on.
Wow.
Oh,
I never really paid attention to like the front.
Yeah, because it wasn't on their first album, was it? It was
on Bleach. I don't think it was on Bleach. No, it wasn't on Bleach.
Oh yeah, I never saw it.
It was on Nevermind and Cesticide. Cesticide. It was on those 2. Something was written in there as a warning.
Oh, we're gonna have to go. Okay.
No Googling, no cheating, no.
Okay, we're not gonna. I'm going to.
Chef, you don't know
the
audience.
It's a good question. No,
Anybody in the audience?
I've never actually looked at like the front where I knew the cover, but one of the first lives on Kurt didn't. He hated me. Yeah. He didn't like the fame.
No, he was done with it. He just didn't get in there. The whole grunge movement was about the music, not about all the crazy fanatics.
Yeah, always the music, absolutely.
Because that's why it came out of that area, because it was that coffee shop vibe that came out. Yeah.
So I don't. I mean, you're gonna tell
anybody?
us?
No answer.
No
Okay.
idea.
I'm looking. I'm looking. Maybe Gary. I was hoping Gary. Gary has a really good memory. I'm looking.
It's been a while since I've looked at a front of a Nirvana cover.
In their albums, they made it very clear that if you were racist, if you were a homophobe, if you beat on women, if you hurt children, don't buy their albums.
Wow.
That's what they put on there. Yeah.
Huh.
That's awesome, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. Like I
You
learned
didn't know
something
that,
new.
huh?
No
Yeah,
idea.
those guys were just a beautiful set of guys. I mean, for real.
Oh yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
It's a once in a lifetime. I remember when they came out in the 90s. I was working as a busboy,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy in the back had got Nevermind, and he was just blaring it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just blaring it nonstop, and I was just like, "What is that?" And that's when rock died. That's the day that rock died,
Yep.
and everybody was listening to grunge, and that just took
Mm-hmm.
over all of the 80s rock, all those 80s rock bands that were coming up, and metal bands. Unless you were Metallica, Megadeth, even I think maybe even Iron Maiden kind of had done at the end of that, because
Yeah, in
grunge
that
came
era,
in.
yeah. It
Because
came in
grunge came
strong
in,
too.
and oh yeah, it was like, and then all of a sudden it was
real
everywhere.
strong.
Yeah, and then people were just picking up. I remember reading articles about people just picking up out of nowhere, picking up people off the street that were playing some grunge music. And you're from Portland and you're playing grunge? Let's grab you and put you in front of some people, right? Some record execs were just like patrolling Portland for grunge music, or Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was Seattle, right? Seattle.
Which brings me
Seattle.
to a whole other trivia question for you guys. I'm just full of these questions.
Awesome.
Another trivia question. Which pop artist album was returned the most for the purchase of Nevermind? There's one album in that era that was returned the most so that people would get Nevermind when it first came out on MTV, like the video and whatnot. So people rushed to Tower Records to return a certain album and get Nevermind. Which artist was it and what album?
I'm going to say Michael Jackson, that White or Black album, or
what's the name of the album? You're really close.
Doesn't matter if you're black or white. It had that song in it because I remember it playing all the time, but I can't remember the name of the actual album.
Dangerous.
That's
the one. Dangerous album. People return the Dangerous. Can you imagine people returning Dangerous? One of Michael's greatest albums. People return Dangerous to buy Nevermind. It's crazy.
Wow.
People don't understand that Nirvana was like a voice. It was every crazy, and when you're like, none of his lyrics were making any sense. I remember going, this guy's like just shooting gibberish out. but he was that grunge was really speaking to people. And then you have Pearl Jam that came out, and then you had so many different. I mean, Pearl Jam being
Chains,
Alice in Chains, Tool,
Soundgarden,
yeah.
I saw the Alice in Chains Unplugged. That thing was that thing was
MTV
so good.
Unplugged. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nirvana Unplugged, when he was just playing what was that one song that just became like so big, and it was like bigger than the original version, and it was off the last album. Oh, I can't remember. But just heart-shaped box, I think he did.
Heart-shaped box.
Yeah.
I think he did he didn't do that one. There was another one.
He didn't play that song. Well, he played some of his songs and played a bunch of covers on it too. Like bunch of covers. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of covers. But there was one that was like really, it just hit. It hit the top. I can't remember what it was now, but it was awesome. Yeah, he was a great musician, and that's why the Foo Fighters did so well. You think about, the Foo Fighters taking off after in his legacy. That's just amazing. And the music, I'm really into music. My whole family is. I play guitar. My family is into music. So I love that I love that era. The 90s music was so fun.
Oh, 90s music was just...
Yeah, Polly wants a crack. Polly wants a cracker.
Yeah. In that album, out of the Nirvana songs that was played there was About a Girl was played on there.
That's the one I'm
thinking
of.
You Are.
Yeah.
About a Girl, is that one you're thinking about?
I'm thinking that, and Come As You Are is the other one that I remember him.
He played Come As You Are. He played Penny Royalty, I'm on a Plane, Dumb. Oh, what else did he play on that? That was one of their songs. Something in the Way.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, let's see. What else did he play?
And they would play that
My Girl.
Go ahead.
And he also played Where Did You
All
Sleep
Apologies.
last night. Also played All Apologies on that album. Yeah, so those are all of their songs that they played on that album. Everything else was a cover. Yeah.
MTV Unplugged. That was like a big. That was.
Yeah,
I think
that was so good.
I'm trying to think of who. I can't believe who was the other people you said. You said there was another group that had. I think Nirvana was the top. I think, or one of the tops for the Unplugged series.
Yeah, one of the tops.
But I can't. There was another group that came on that was fairly good as well. But I was blown away by Nirvana because you know their sound was so, the grunge sound was what their guitars were about. You know, it was still kind of in that same, that, you know, it's so awesome and just, you know, really down to earth music. And then they played acoustic style versions of it. You're just like, holy moly!
It was all stripped down, and it still sounded awesome.
Yeah,
even though it was stripped down from everything. Yeah,
it just shows how talented they were. Then you had, you know, the Foo Fighters have just done so well since, you know. It's such a good. I like that because that means that his music kind of lives on in that group. You know, as much as it can. You know, it's I love that. So cool. I'm glad that we're all in the same music. I love that stuff. Now, did you guys? Did you guys grow up in the '90s, or were you guys?
Yes,
I went
to high school
82.
in the '90s. Yeah.
Yeah, you were born in '82.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when were you? How old are you, Immo?
I'm 41 now. I was born in '79, so.
All right. So
I grew up in the '90s. Yeah, I came up in the '90s.
Yeah, so I was mid '80s, and then I graduated in beginning of '90s, like '92. So I have like a whole, and I loved college because college was the grunge for me. That's what, like, Offspring came out. I'm a huge Offspring fan still. And I just absolutely thought that movement was part of the MTV movement. Like that's honestly, in my opinion, the last of the good MTV music video time period. Like that's where the
wasn't
music
the '90s. Yeah.
Going on. Yeah, that was still when the music was being played. It was before all of those, you know,
reality shows and game shows and all that.
Yeah, Remote Control was still fun because that was still like 80s and 90s. But it wasn't anything like what was the first one of those? That stupid apartment show.
What, Real World?
The Real World.
Real World.
Yeah, I remember the very first one too.
Like I'm like, how can people watch this? Like I got into Butthead, you know, Beavis and Butthead. I was like, okay,
I watched that too.
Beavis and Butthead's great, but what the heck is up with this Real World stuff? And then you saw it take over the entire platform.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then it had several seasons and
well, it's funny. Like Gary watches like I watch it too, but Gary watches like the challenge. I'm guilty of watching it too, so I mean, I can't. I never really watched like the Real World, but I watched like the challenge.
The challenge is still on, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Is that on MTV?
Oh my gosh! Yeah. I think it's still
MTV. On. I don't know what that is.
It's still on.
What is it?
It's pretty much people that have been in past seasons. Well, now it's like from people that have been in other shows, like from either Australia or England or stuff like that. But like some people that have been on like Survivor, like Big Brother, and stuff like that are on the shows now. So now, before it was just like Real World,
road rules,
like cast members, road rules and stuff. Yeah. Now they changed it to where it's just like shows. Yeah. Now it's just like shows that have been like around the world or shows that like Survivor and stuff like that.
Those are. I remember Survivor being like the shit, right? That was the coolest show. That guy that like the guy who won Survivor won. And it was all manipulation, and you're like, oh, that guy totally manipulated everybody. It was crazy.
Right.
Crazy. Oh, yeah. And then you had, what I remember about Real World is maybe Real World 2, the crazy Puck guy.
Yeah, Puck.
Oh, yeah.
Like they had to kick him out. It was so crazy.
They had to kick him out because of his antics. Yeah. Oh,
that's the one that I was like,
Puck.
That's what I remember. That dude, I was just like, I didn't really watch much of it because I was in college and I had a lot of classes and I was working at the time. But I remember just that dude would draw you in because you're like, this guy's just crazy. They just let a crazy guy in.
Yeah,
this guy
pretty much.
This guy's one step away from getting like the cops called on him.
Pretty much.
And I think I think they did. I can't remember right. I remember it was really close, but they kicked him out.
Mm-hmm.
They kicked him out. And then the other thing that's really interesting is that they carried that show on for so long, and then they made it Road Rules, right?
Yeah.
So then, and then they would combine them with like, hey, now we're going to put Road Rule peoples with these people, and now they're going to be on Road Rules, but they were really on Real World. I mean, so much money made it doing that silly stuff. Do you guys remember any of the first? Like Survivor was one of the first ones, but then the game show Real World shows. Do you guys remember any of those? Like the other ones that came out? Like there's one called Paradise Island. Some of the other ones that have been out. There's some more recently ones. Do you guys ever watch any of those?
No, I don't watch TV anymore. Yeah, I stopped watching TV.
You're not missing
a while back, so I don't watch TV anymore. No.
Do you watch a lot of Netflix and Prime?
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of Netflix, Prime, YouTube videos, that kind of thing. Now I just watch TV.
I honestly like our videos, and this is just me. There's so much good YouTube content coming out now, and so I'm following a lot of the videographers because of YouTube thing. But then I'm also liking the beard content that's coming out. There's a lot of really good talented folks that are coming out of just doing beard content. You have people like all the reviewer table guys are awesome. Dan Scuba is always amazing. Matt, Scott. I really like, even though we're up against him right now, Scott's new program is really good.
Yeah.
I like his style. He's just kind of flowing. Joe's new style on his Meet Your Creator.
Yeah, I mean,
Meet Your Maker.
Yeah.
Creator. Meet Your Maker. That's a really good content. Yeah, I always love that content. And then, so we got about 10 minutes left because we gotta get Immo out to his Ready Reveal. So I want everybody to. We got Ready Reveal tonight. We got Twitch Beard doing his charity for Tourette's. That's on at 9. Then we have Joe's, and I can't remember who he has on. Somebody.
Renewed Man.
Renewed Man.
Yes.
Yeah, he has Jay Deuce on it today. Yeah.
There's so much good people. Bounce. All 3 people that are watching us. That's what happens when you do like. I was like, hey, all 2 people watch us and switch over to those guys. They're really good. They already know about it. But I will tell you that it's a pleasure having you guys on, and we'll have to do this again.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for having us on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we totally appreciate it. And, I'll probably be asking people throughout time to get on Reviewers Table. That's been my successful brainchild, that I got 4 guys that were doing different types of reviews and getting them together to discuss things. And now it's turned into just a fun community show that has people on it, and we talk about crazy stuff.
So I wish I can. That's one thing I wish I can get on a lot more, is because being that I work on the weekends, it's like I wish I can get on those live streams or whatever. Otherwise I would, but it's like I can't. I'm at work and I don't get off until like 10:30. So it's just like I wish I can get on more live streams, but like my days are like Monday or Tuesday or like Thursday or something like that. So it's like very limited.
Well, right. So now I'm inviting James to my shows now. He's a good guy.
There you go.
So he has Thursdays
it's
available.
Official now.
Yeah, I'm doing Thursdays. He's a great guy. So I enjoy having Beard community members are just awesome people. So Immo, I'm going to go lightning round with both you guys. You guys have answered a lot of questions, but we're going to go some sports, and then we're going to do some American sports.
All right, let's do that.
So, favorite NFL teams, both you guys.
Seahawks.
49ers.
James.
I can't even talk to you.
Since like Montana and stuff like Steve Young and Jerry Rice and stuff like that. That's been my team. I'm a California guy, so it's just I'm originally from California.
Okay,
right.
Makes sense.
Remember about him. Yeah. So, and guess who's a Cardinal fan here? The Cardinals. So anyway, that's my team is the Cardinals. I have way too much
Mhm.
merchandise for them. So yes, favorite sports team. So that's NFL's favorite sports. We have NFC West represented there. All we need is people from St. Louis / LA. So favorite basketball team.
Seattle Supersonics, they're going to come back. Don't you tell me
There you
anything else.
I haven't watched a lot of basketball in a while, but I mean, like my team back in the day was the Bulls. I mean, no doubt. I mean, nowadays I haven't really watched much football. I mean, basketball lately.
Oh, there's Raider Nation. He's being represented here. Awesome.
Oh, there you go. We got swag.
Swag then. So, and my next question: baseball teams.
Mariners.
It's all Seattle. Nice.
All Seattle.
Yeah. What do you got for James?
Baseball growing up was definitely the Angels.
I was going to go Dodgers. I was going to go Dodgers, but I was Angels are good. Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So, college teams. Who is your favorite? Who is your alma mater or the team that you watch?
University of Washington, alma mater. Go Huskies. I bleed purple.
See, he's another Pac-12 guy. What do you, James?
I do like the Hurricanes.
He's a
really?
Very nice. So I have a few. I'm from Arizona. All of my family has graduated from the U of A, so definitely a Pac-12 Wildcat fan. But if you were to say who do I follow like in and out, it's Notre Dame. I'm a big Notre Dame, big Irish fan.
Nice.
So. But so awesome. If you were to say, hey, I'm going to listen to a favorite music, what is your go-to music?
Oh, if I was to just sit around the house, listen to something, it would be African music, African pop music. I listen to that a lot. Then after that, it's rock. Yeah.
Very
then
nice.
hip hop after that. So
very good.
Very
good.
Yeah, I'm very wide range with like the music variety. I mean, with like metal, it'd be like Lamb of God. I mean, that's something I can kind of go towards and listen to it like all the time. Rap wise, I mean, I'm more like old school type rap. Not like really like much anything really back then. I mean, I don't really have like a specific. I guess it can just be any kind of '90s hip hop. But somewhere around there, classic rock.
Very nice. Very good. Very good. That's all really good genres. Very good.
Yeah.
So my last questions. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Heck no.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Hell no. To the no. It does not belong on there.
I'm gonna have pineapple on the pizza.
He's gonna have two people.
I'm gonna white. I like Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, very good. And then
give me some pineapple and ham.
Devin is not in our house today right now, but how do you guys eat your steaks? Are you guys well done, or are you guys? Oh, there we go.
Medium rare, heavy on the rare.
There you go. What do you got, James?
I'm around the same thing, but more medium rare, or medium rare, medium.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I like it not mooing still, but like the red. My mom was a rare. She was a rare. Like it had to be just slapped on the grill a couple times, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
this way, and you're done. Yep.
Yep. Just seared, done. You're off the grill.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you guys for coming in. That gives you about 5 minutes to go jump on there. Immo, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Red Reveal is going on tonight. We have Joe Bearded Life and his stream with Renewed Man. Go jump on those guys. And then we have a really cool charity. So there's so much going on tonight. Go try to love on all of those people, as Swag says. Love on as many of these channels as you can. Please subscribe to each one of these people. Follow Immo. Awesome dude. Go follow Bearded Metal Chef. Follow me. Somebody please follow me. I'm just kidding. I am always very happy with the amount of subscribers I have, even if it is a low number. I'm cool with that. You know, I got family here. enjoy the amount of people that I do have. I consider you guys family. You guys are awesome community members. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And thanks for hanging out. Anybody who was on, totally appreciate it. And anybody who watches this in the future.
Awesome.
Any other last words? What do you got going on in the last? I'll give you like 1 minute, Immo. What do you have going on in your near future?
Near future, I'm going to be on a stream with MechBeard and Scott. I'm going to
Awesome.
Nice.
I'm going to be
Good
on
man.
their channel, do something with them, and yeah, that's about it, really.
Right on.
As far as beard stuff goes, yeah.
Cool. What do you got going on?
Yeah, really just kind of just sticking with the making video thing content. So I'm just kind of just doing my thing there. So
cool. Well, good. We'll have you on next week too. So if you're up for next week, we'll have you back on. I have a counselor on next week, so we'll have a good talk. A counselor / beard product owner.
Nice.
So we'll get ourselves analyzed. We have some mental health, and then we'll also talk about his company. So
nice.
We'll talk to you guys soon. And thanks
All right.
everybody else who's showing up. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right. Good night, guys.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Jeez.